You've seen zombie movies and said, I wouldn't do this or I would do this differently and survive these dumb zombies. Never that I would turn into a zombie and go around cannibalizing innocents. Well, I know that deep down you would make a mistake and end up getting bitten and turning into a zombie. In this video of Beat the Movies, I'll tell you why you wouldn't survive the train to Busan or zombie invasion. In this movie, an outbreak of zombies is happening in South Korea, and the survivors of the movie are lucky to be on a train that has just left. But they are not that lucky, and an infected girl manages to get in and spoil the whole crowd. Let's talk about all the situations that could kill you in this movie. Biochemical leak. When you hear that the city or road is closed because a biochemical company is in trouble, you should already know what could happen. We've played or seen enough horror movies to know something is going to happen. Just ignoring it makes things very dangerous. But then you decide to play with your cell phone while you drive, man. Everyone knows this is dangerous, and it still does. I know that in the movie he ran over a deer, but it could be much worse. Busan, it has a population of over 3 million people, larger than Philadelphia. And I'm mentioning this because World War Z is taking place in Philadelphia, and you already know, the chances of surviving there weren't the best. In short, if you are in a big city, your chances are never very good. Oh, and if you have kids in a zombie apocalypse, you would have a hard time surviving. It all starts because of this security guard who doesn't see the infected woman getting in. A lot of people hate her for getting infected on the bus, but I know it's kinda kidding for you to do this, but the survival instinct speaks louder. As it's at the beginning of the epidemic, he might not have known that he would turn into a zombie and cause virtually everyone on the train to be infected and die. The train starts to move, and a zombie picks up the security guard, which is very lucky. If the train is 5 minutes late, no one would get out alive. The infected woman starts walking strangely through a wagon with all the zombie spots, but no one pays attention. Serious guy that nobody even looks to see why it's all crooked? If you saw that and didn't get up and run to the next car making plans for survival, you'd be dead for sure. If you see a bitten, bloody person thrashing around on the floor and go help them, you are a good person, but if you turn your back on them, you would die again. When you see someone on top of the other person, looking like the jockey from Left 4 Dead, don't just stare, get away from there as quickly as possible, because when they're done eating, you could be the next one to become a zombie. We always have 3 types of reactions to extreme situations: running, fighting, or freezing. Standing completely still in front of a zombie, eating someone else, is not the best choice. When you see people running, desperately don't try to understand what they're running from. This is probably not the best solution. And again, this woman here could have run away, but she froze and ended up turning into a zombie too. This guy stood there for 1 minute watching the people die, and he just ran to the next car without wasting time. Oh, and while you run away, he should be closing the doors. Leaving them open just makes it easier for the zombies to catch you easily. You are chained with a child in your lap. Of course the zombies will run faster than you. Their only weakness is doors, so use them. This guy is too mad, and he knows how to use doors the right way and not closing them for a couple that would certainly make it on time. You can be sure that in an apocalypse there were more guys like this here, who will keep you locked in with the zombies and won't feel any remorse. Oh, and here you would surely die. If a sliding door has an emergency lock, use it. Don't trust the zombie to get unlucky and accidentally open the door. Being 6 months pregnant won't help you either, a lot, to survive a zombie apocalypse. If you come to a train station where it's supposed to be a quarantine zone made by soldiers, it probably wouldn't be empty like this. The military was checking person to person to prevent someone infected from morphing and starting killing everyone on the perimeter. The station being empty means 2 things. The military is not there, or everyone at that station is infected. If you decide to get off the train and take a walk, you will die. As jerky as this guy is, he's asking the right questions and thinking rationally. If you're not already fully alert in this situation and ended up believing that station was safe, you should grab a shield and a club to at least defend yourself and not be taken by surprise if something happens. Don't use escalators, because you can't turn around and run away. Most likely everyone would fall and you would die again. You would need to go down with a space between the other people, or at least let them go first. Because in situations like this, the best thing is to be last and come up with alternative routes to escape. If something happens, being in the middle of several panicked people will only make you get caught by a zombie. If you're clumsy, when you're nervous, you certainly couldn't get out of a situation like that. And if you have shoes on, you would probably die. These shoes don't have any grip on this type of floor. You wouldn't be able to run, or you would slip and fall. Nobody thinks about shoes. But if you have shoes or high heels, you would definitely go slip and fall. Damn, this guy in blue is awesome. This guy is mad. Fighting zombie in the punch. This guy just hasn't died yet because he's one of the protagonists of the movie and has that old armor. If you freeze like that, you die again. Okay, this is stupid. You can see the zombies through the door, and you opened it anyway. Oh, and sitting on the floor crawling won't help you at all. Man, this crazy fucks up a lot. I think half the people who tried to do what he does would die, and also hardly anyone would reach out to get you on the train. When you get back on the train, the first thing to do is check your surroundings and see if you have any infected, and don't take your iPhone to zap your crush. As cold as it is, letting someone you know die can sometimes be essential for you to stay alive. I would do the same thing they do, or try to come up with a plan to try and save the one I love, but it's basically suicide. They can even protect some parts, but there's still plenty of room for zombies to bite, scratch, or even spill some fluids like hands, arms, and mouths. In a fight, you will probably get punched, and in a zombie fight, blood will certainly fly. So try to cover as many parts of your body as possible. Going like this guy with exposed biceps won't help you at all. Punching zombies isn't the best way to fight zombies. You'll probably break or cut your hand from punching zombies in the face. Another problem with freezing is this. People who are counting on you will end up dying. Take every opportunity you have. Don't waste time smirking and planning zombie picnics 6 feet away from you. This is not the time. The guy in the movie says the tunnel would last 2 minutes, but it actually takes 3 minutes. The light would come back on, and they would be on top of the trunk and would probably get caught by the zombies. Not looking at the ground. When you need to escape without making any noise, no one helped this guy hold and close the door. They just flocked to the next door to cry for someone to open it. That kind of panic would probably kill everyone there, as no one could hold on to the door and the zombies for so long. I feel sorry for this guy. Full of people in the car, and he's there alone holding the door with a shitload of zombies. It's obvious he was gonna die. No one was helping the guy before. Being just a spectator in situations like this would surely make everyone there die. This guy is an asshole, and everyone knows, but he is thinking rationally somehow, but expressing it in a silly way. Of course, those infected would rather save themselves than die devoured by zombies, but they should check people for infection marks. But all the madness of a zombie apocalypse would probably make people make rash decisions. Just see this scene where this lady opens the door for her zombie sister to come in and kill everyone in that car, just because they let her sister be turned into a zombie, and she was shocked by the whole thing. These people are full of blood. If you have any cuts or scratch your eye with your hand covered with infected blood, the chance of you dying is very high. Deciding to stop the train and walk somewhere is extremely dangerous. You would hardly not encounter a horde of zombies along the way. I said this guy was an asshole in an apocalypse, and expect to find a lot of people like that who would throw you to the zombies to save themselves. Just like dying from a traffic accident in a zombie apocalypse. A runaway train is pretty much the same thing. And the asshole strikes again. Honestly, people like that have to die or be isolated from other people because they will do anything for anyone to get out of situations alive, killing more and more people on the way. You need to get rid of these types of people more, as fast as possible. Holding someone who has been bitten and waiting for them to change is not the best idea. I can't imagine what it would feel like to go through that moment, but if you didn't leave them there, you would die. Don't put yourself in situations where you need to save someone who is obviously already gone. At most, stretch your arm to see if he could catch it. Not knowing how to analyze when someone doesn't have a chance is something that can put you in serious danger. Getting put in a situation where you have to sacrifice yourself to save a lot of people is not an easy decision, as you could just run and leave everyone there to die. But choosing the option of sacrificing yourself and saving others may be what your intuition dictates. Run. If you can't outrun the zombies, or you're in the wrong shoes for the situation and you can't reach that train, you're sure to die. Getting off the train, passing several bodies, and entering a dark tunnel after everything you've seen is not a good idea. I would think there would be more zombies in the tunnel, and I wouldn't risk that much. In a zombie apocalypse, the military is not 100% your friend. They will be extremely alert and trigger happy to shoot anything that moves. Only approach if you can prove you're not a zombie and not infected. So guys, this was the video of why you wouldn't survive the apocalypse of the film Train to Busan, or Zombie Invasion, translated into Brazilian Portuguese. Thanks for watching. And the next video will be on how to defeat Train to Busan. Stay tuned until next time.